Want to drive the liberal media crazy? Just show them this iconic photo of bloodied Donald Trump raising his fist in the air after a would-be assassin's bullet failed to kill him. Left-wing journalists at some major news outlets are freaking out over how popular it is and calling it photoganda. One person whined how it is, quote, dangerous for media organizations to keep sharing that photo despite how good it is. And if that isn't stupid enough, the Trump haters over at MSNBC are cooking up conspiracy theories about Donald Trump's bullet-grazed ear while fretting that he is getting sympathy votes. Listen to this insanity.
We've not received a medical report from the hospital, nor have we received a medical report from the campaign or from the Trump organization about the extent of the damage to his ear. If he was shot by a high-caliber bullet, there should probably be very little ear there. Other reporters saying that it was actually shards of glass from the teleprompter itself, not the bullet.
There is a political quest here to mine and use Donald Trump's injury, and whether his allies and Republicans or the candidate himself do that in a way that overextends their credibility will be decided by the voters.
You know, Dana, we all saw this in real time. It was historic. Why does the left have such difficulty handling the truth?
I don't understand why they continue to try to compete with Trump during this week. And then on this issue, he's the one who got shot, and they're the ones who hire Steven Spielberg. I'm assuming Steven Spielberg is there to try to make some sort of image for President Biden so that he looks like he's awake after 5 o'clock. I don't understand the complaints. I think it is pretty outrageous. I think of Iwo Jima, and of course, what did that galvanize? That galvanized America to win the war and to continue on even to this day. When we see that, it evokes pride and patriotism. What he was saying, that he didn't raise his fist, this is only for the Republicans out there that I care for the country. I mean, I think that's pretty preposterous, and they sound a little ridiculous. Plus, would it be better for them if you took the bandage off? Yeah. Is that what they would prefer? Would that be better for you all, so that then you could actually see the blood?
Yeah. You know, it's crazy, Jesse, and that is going to be a statue sooner than later. But, you know, the people are actually now getting a tattoo of that image. Are you going to get a tattoo, Jesse?
Right on my rear end, Janine. Would you give it to me, please?
No.
Oh, sorry. I'll have to get Greg to do it. Getting shot is going to elicit sympathy. It's not like he came out like Ted Kennedy with a neck brace. This man is vain. He doesn't want the ear patch. He would have rather not had that there. And we've all seen the video 1,000 times. We don't see the teleprompter smash. We don't see anything smash and shatter. So that's obviously a bullet. It's not like the Secret Service agents were squeezing little Heinz ketchup packets onto his ear before they got him into the vehicle. It seems like the photographers are mad Trump's still alive. Imagine Barack Obama before the last election, and he's in Hawaii, the place of his birth, Jessica, and he's riding the waves, and some little child starts drowning from a riptide, and he grabs the kid and rescues him, and he comes back with the Pacific surf glistening on his muscular body, and the photographer captures it. Do you think they're going to be mad that that shot is being used politically? They're not going to be mad. This is the process. They take the pictures of the news, we disseminate it, and then the public consumes it. If you don't want to be a part of that process, make pottery, sell it on the side of the street.
You know, Jessica, you know, the Democrats, you know, I think they coined the phrase cheap fake. Are they saying that the shooting was a cheap fake, or that this is?
I don't think so. I don't think anyone is disputing that something happened to him. It has been debunked that it was glass. That was certainly the going explanation for an hour or so on Saturday when this happened. But we know what it was. And I don't think that it gets anyone bonus points to be minimizing what that experience was like. And not only that, even if you want to be thinking about this in terms of the political future, people aren't going to be happy to hear you advocating for that. Maybe some, you know, far branch of the party who is into the conspiracy theories of it. You know, some people think, oh, it was staged, or it was glass, or it's not a big deal. You could be using a smaller Band-Aid or whatever they want to say. But the average person, and I've spoken to a lot of Republicans here, obviously, and my Democratic friends who are not here, everyone acknowledges that this happened. It was really serious, and is concerned about what it forebodes for the future. So I've been thinking a lot about when Bill Clinton said it's better to be strong and wrong than right and weak. And I think that that's really important advice for this exact moment in time. Because whatever you think about Donald Trump, and you know what I think about Donald Trump, that looks strong. And I also think he's wrong. But at this particular moment, images that are coming out from obviously the debate or even these interviews that Joe Biden has done after the debate, he looks substantially weaker, obviously. And I believe that he is right on the issues. I think we have a tremendous record to be running on. And I don't want to waste any time demeaning that photo or that moment for Trump and his family or the Americans that support him by not talking about policy issues and things that I think we will be able to win the election on.
Greg, you know, it's interesting that Michael Steele was questioning the fact that we haven't seen the doctor's report. Is there really ear damage? I mean, isn't that ironic when Joe Biden won't even take a cognitive test?
Steele is another example of somebody who's never been the same. I mean, he wasn't like this 10 years ago. I mean, he's permanently damaged. I don't think there is a worse punishment for Ari Melbourne or Steele than just being them. I mean, you could criticize them all you want, but I don't want to be inside that head if it's so infected by this. It's no longer a syndrome, it's a virus. It's moved on, this Trump derangement. I think I kind of agree with you, Jessica. If I were a Democrat, I would sit this out. Yep. The stars are aligned against you, and I don't mean George Clooney or Streisand. I mean the actual universe. My theory is when you realize you're the bad guy in a movie, leave the movie. There are other projects, other films to do. You have the time to start over. But sit in this one and just leaning into being a villain is bad for you. As for this photo, did reporters, media, or journalists ever worry about an iconic photo when it wasn't Trump? I mean, the entire goal is to use the power of imagery to influence or persuade somebody. You know, when they showed the rubble of Gaza, these stark photos, did they say, gee, I hope this doesn't affect the status of Israel around the world? No, they want to win a Pulitzer. So this is only a problem when it involves Trump. And it's crazy because there's a fear among people in the media of being seen as helpful to Trump simply by doing your job and telling the truth. So you'd rather not do your job and not tell the truth and keep your friends. Think about it. I mean, they could have pushed back on the Fine People hoax. That's their job, to expose lies, but they didn't. They could have reported on Biden's infirmary, but they didn't. Why? Because they just didn't want to lose their friends. The conclusion is that the truth paints your adversaries as right. Somehow they feel it's better to bury the truth. But that picture, it blew a hole through the whole operation. You couldn't hold it back. The general public saw this, and the only way to destroy the media industrial complex was to tear a hole right through it with a photo like that.
All right.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.